All right, folks, you heard from the interim president, Dr. Drake. Now you get to hear directly from Ed Reed, Hall of Famer. Ed, glad to have you on Roland Martin Unfiltered. You got a chance to hear what the president had to say on this show. Your response?
I mean, I honestly, I was honestly at the spa, Roland. And when I turned my phone on, that's when I received your text. There's 30 kids that was here on Friday I was with when I got the phone call that they did not want me here. You understand? And I still gave $2,400 out of my own pocket for these young men to go host these kids. And I didn't tell the parents until Saturday morning. I'm not here for nothing but these kids. I apologize for the unprofessionalism. This is what I've been teaching these young men. What these young men and young women did today is for them, man. That's powerful, man. That's old school things, man. I'm not here to bash this university. I know what Dr. McLeod has built. I've been researching it since they called me.
This situation between Bethune Cookman and Ed Reed is just sad. I mean, what would you do? Let's talk about it. So if you like me, you've definitely, wandered into the realm of YouTube Shorts, where at first it was just like a here and there thing, and now it's like you get stuck on an hour or maybe more, just scrolling through. And when things like that happen, you often end up like in a rabbit hole. Well, for myself, I'll speak, you know what I mean? Where I think, so this current rabbit hole that I've been in, I believe it started with maybe me liking some Iman shorts about him talking about maybe like Jordan, Pippen, or even LeBron or Kobe or something like that, right? So of course it's going to bring you more. The algorithm, of course, you know how it go, is looking at you, is going to start giving you certain things. So then clearly it went more into sports, it went into MJ, and went into Kobe, his death, the speeches, things like that, nature. And then of course it transferred over into the football realm and things of that nature. Ended up with like OBJ, Cam Newton, and things of that. So then I ended up on Deion Sanders, and I ended up in this whole the rabbit hole, like with him with JSU, how he went there, how he's leaving to go to Colorado, how he rebuilt the team, what he was trying to do for the school, and then that conversation of how just needing of actually having the capability but not having the support to kind of get your dream come true. So then, going through that rabbit hole and everything else, it led me now to if you've heard, and I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're either familiar, know something, or maybe you want to learn as well, about Ed Reed and the current state of, Bethune Cookman letting him go, or at least letting him go from the running as far as head coach of the football team. And it's so in some ways infuriating, I'm not going to lie, but then it's so captivating. Just the message, what's going on, the news of it, and what's happening even, but not even in a good way. It's just, these are things that I sit on like daily, and for whatever reason, I find they're so important, and these are so many things that we need to talk about, so many issues that we need to talk about, especially in our community. I don't want any other race or anybody else feeling slighted. It's one of those things where it's just like, unless you've been here, you won't know. You know what I mean? And it's not a disrespect. It's not meant to be taken offensive. It's just the truth. And that's okay, because I'm sure there's things on your side, like as far as other cultures and other races and other things of that nature, that I wouldn't know because I haven't lived it. And that should just be an understood thing. And it doesn't make anyone better or like trying to create a divide or separation. It's just a reality, and I need people to stop being so sensitive and live in a reality. There's a reality when it comes to black schools, and not even on the college level. Let's go down to the lower level, and I'm not saying other areas maybe that are not of black ethnicity don't have like poor schools and things of that nature, but I'm speaking to what I know. So of course I will always want to be enlightened, but I can only speak right now on what I know. And I know that what I see in my own community and what I've seen and what I've experienced is not okay. The education system is not okay. And it's amazing to me because I was listening to Ed Reed and he said something about how the people who are in control, and even Deion Sanders was saying this, the people who are in control, the people who are running it, their love is not for the kids. The love is for the money, the profit, the notoriety of like the team and things of that nature. And it's affecting our kids more than people can imagine. I am a parent, and I say this from the heart. We need help. And anytime you have somebody like Ed Reed, and I'm a comment, this comment section is always lit. So any video, anything you watch, you read the comment section, you'll get some good jewels. And I read a comment about somebody saying basically like, well, he only was really promoting the change or wanted something because it was for himself. It was selfish. Like he wanted a practice field. He was trying to basically for his team and why he was there. And that's not necessarily true. In my opinion, let me rephrase that. In my opinion, after hearing him speak, I don't think that's true. I believe the fields, the lack of just the grass being cut, the garbage on a field that could be used for a practice field that was already there. The space is there. Why has nothing been done with it? And it occurring in a black school in Florida that could actually has so much potential. I think it's the aggravating part. I think it was an icing on the cake where he was stating that like he came to his office and his office was dirty. And I don't think it was just, like trash dirty. You feel me? Like just certain things, and especially coming after something like COVID, you have to imagine, you know what I mean, that no regard has been taken even prior to that. So just imagine the built up of just need for any kind of salvation in that moment. And just listening to him speak and listening to the message, it really just had me thinking, even listening to Deion Sanders and what they're saying about HBCUs, is the message is so much bigger. So much bigger. I attended an HBCU, you know what I'm saying? I get pride. You know what I mean? I'm with it. There's something about an HBCU, and for myself, I attended a regular college, I guess, what you would say. I'm not going to give names completely, but I attended a regular college for like my first 2 years, and then I transferred to HBCU. And there's nothing like it. That love, it's just the energy, yo, and it's in the air. Homecoming time is different. It's just, and it ain't trying to dismiss nobody else. It's just, and it's like a culture thing. I don't think people understand that. We ain't trying to play you out. Yeah, like everybody could be invited to the barbecue, but it's just not the same for you. It ain't gonna hit the same for you. You know what I mean? In an HBCU, when you walk on, there's nothing like seeing your own, a crowd of just your own, having a good fucking time, bro. No bad, like, energy. It's just like, yo, it's love. Like, you know what I mean? It's like really being at the cookout with thousands of fucking people while you in school. And but you're also learning, and you get to have your education, and you get to just be there in the element and feel safe. And I think that's what college kind of offers too. It offers this kind of like border of safety that that you can't experience when you just really at the cookout in the hood or the cookout in the neighborhood. But then it's almost like a more exclusive club, but you get to enjoy it. And I will always promote an HBCU. But then how do you promote that and that energy? And that's like we're promoting our own, and we're being around our own, and it's just that experience in life. Because it's not different from being on the corner. It's a whole lot different from just being on the corner and just chilling. You feel me? Even though it's still your own people. It's a whole lot different from like walking to the corner store every day or whatever it is that you do. It's different. When education is involved, when you actually got like, events sponsored towards you, comedy shows, just different, and it gives you a different life, yo. And I respect it, and I will always promote HBCU. And going back to what I was saying, but how do you do that? If you got molded, my first freshman dorm, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. It was, when I transferred, I'm supposed to be, at a certain level. I'm supposed to be at a junior now. I lost some credits, so I had to do extra years or whatever. So understood, right? So when they was placing me because of how late I had put in my application, I think, or something like that, they didn't have room in the older student dorms. I had to be placed in a freshman dorm, bruh. Now, mind you, my school right now, they have renovated, and it looks like a whole different campus. You feel me? It's beautiful now. But I know before that, it was kind of hood. You feel me? But like the funny thing about it, it was just like you didn't think you knew it was like, y'all, this is like I knew, because it was just like, yo, I just came from a school where, you know, it was damn near like you had your own apartment style your sophomore year. You know what I mean? Once you pass, and then your freshman dorm was like the standard typical dorm. And I was lucky enough with my freshman year, like I had my room to myself. I had a double room to myself. So I had everything, like, so, you know, I lived good. So coming here to HBCU, being hyper, I was just like, yo, what's going on? But you know what always kind of like just not overpowered it, but kind of overshadowed that? It was the love, it was the energy, and it was just being there. It was different, and nothing, it was like being at home. So it's like, and it's kind of that, and that's the sad part to say. It's like you feel like you're back at home, like even though it might be a little hood looking, and it might be a little, you know, run down here, or it might look like you got an open field of like certain stuff. It's like you already feel comfortable because you already been around this, you already lived this, so it ain't nothing new. But it's even more comfortable now because you know it's more of a school setting. It ain't just like you're not just in the hood with it. But that doesn't make it right, because you're actually paying all this money that you're gonna have to pay back, because when you leave, they still want their fucking money back too as well. You feel me? So it's like that reality of it. You know that they're right. You know that Ed Reed is right. You know that Dion is right. You know that these schools, and I don't know, like, as far as funding wise and budget wise and things of that nature, how it works, and you know, and just how you are able to allocate money here and there. But it's like, yo, if you have this, it's like, why not? When you see these other schools and they're able to do it, it's like, what are we not doing that they're doing? And why can't we start doing that? Especially when you have people like Ed Reed or Deion Sanders willing to back your program. It's like, Bethune Cookman, what are you thinking? Like, standing on malls, and I understand it's more of a Christian school, so values and certain things definitely have to play a part. But we're not going to sit here and act like all them kids in Bethune Cookman, now on, you know what I mean, on the holiest of holies, and all their parents are sitting out there, you know, sitting on the top of Mount Christ. Like, let's not play that game. You feel me? I think, and I understand that he shouldn't have said what he said in the way that he said it. And maybe even, and I don't even know if I necessarily agree with that. It's just, I feel like it's being a little bit odd. Like, I'm stuttering because I'm trying to figure out my words and put this in the best way, or be actually real about it. Because in the reality, corporate America, I think it's just corporate America. You know, yes, massa, you can't talk against the boss. You know what I mean? You can't talk against the boss, especially in public. If you do, you have to know your place, and you got to make sure you understand what's on the other side of it. Like, see, Deion saying all this now that he's about to leave JSU is different from you having not signed a contract before you even entered Bethune Cookman. You feel me? And then you got students, and I think part of the part, I don't even know if that makes sense, but you know what I'm saying. Part of the issue for me too was the fact that kids, students, you know, future athletes came to the program on the strength of Ed Reed, like, yo, I want to come under him, committed to the school, and then the next week he's let go. Now, for anybody who's ever played sports, or even if you haven't, you know what I mean, there's just an understanding. It's like, you know, I'm an energy person, you feel me? Like, if I feel like something is good for me, or I feel like the energy is good, or I feel like, you know, like this person is like speaking to me in a language that I understood, where I know, like, okay, even if we don't agree, it's a vibe, or however you want to put it, I like to go where that is. So if these students or these athletes or these players was like, yo, I want to rock with Ed, that's important to acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because only certain people, like just as students, just as like anybody else, that could really push, you know, that person to the next level. Everybody may not be able to reach them. You got to understand that, especially when it comes to our culture and it comes to our people. A lot of these boys been through a lot of stuff, and if you ain't able to relate, if you ain't able to really, you know, be on a level and be understanding, not just be judgmental and not just be like a certain way, they're not going to be receptive. They're not going to take in the whole lesson. They might learn how to play, but what's the life lesson they're going to get out of it? So it's kind of like, damn, you know, to say that now you have you're in a system, or you're committed to a school where the whole reason you wanted to be there is now gone, completely gone. I think that should be taken into regard, but again, it's not my school, and I can't really do or say too much. I can say as much as I want, like, because that's why I'm here. But it's just just watching it unfold is sad to see. And then when you actually see that these schools, like the students are starting to protest, and they actually do have the mold in the schools, they do have these bad living conditions, and electricity issues, security issues, doors. You got crackheads like coming on campus. When you got the trash on campus, but you pay your money, everybody know if I'm paying my money, give me my service. It don't matter about color at that point. So it's kind of crazy to me to see that the road that this is taking. And I feel like, again, I was saying, I always say this about passion, right? Because I feel like I'm I've been told very much so by a lot of people, a lot of friends. If you know me in real life, I'm a passionate person. There's certain things when I feel it, I feel it. And I'm gonna talk about it. Like I'm big on protecting the youth and guiding them and figuring out how can we help them. I'm big on people getting back to like human interaction and getting off of social media and really just coming back to caring, not only caring about yourself but caring about each other. I really want to go back to these days of being real and not being so sensitive. You get what I'm saying? Where you could just speak your mind and be entitled to have different opinions. We don't gotta agree, but as long as I ain't hurting you and you ain't hurting me, it's all good, bruh. As long as you ain't physically out here trying to hurt my family or my people or somebody on the street, it's all good, bro. You can feel how you want to feel. We do not have to agree. We are not all the same. How can we all agree when we're not the same? Human beings were not meant to be like we. I can't even finish my thought on that, but as I'm saying, just passion. And when you have passion for certain things, and if you ever experience, if you know that feeling, you know how it is when you're passionate about stuff. Sometimes it's just like, you've been holding in so much for so long that a toothpick dropping on the floor could be your fucking bomb, and you blowing up. That's all it takes is a drop of water to spill on your hand, and you get what I'm saying? It's like, and in this case, maybe it was the field not being mowed so that they could have a practice field, and whatever it is, especially when he got outside support, it's like, yo, damn, dude, y'all can't help me out. Let's look out for each other. Like, if your school could benefit and I could benefit, why would you not want to? That's the big question. Why would you not want to? What is your big picture on? At the kids at all? And a lot of this education system is fucked up. And I know I want to even talk more about that. I'm going to talk, because this video is, this is already so long, I don't want to talk about it in this. So I'm definitely going to make that in the next video, just about the education system. Because I have worked in it, and just to understand, especially when they come into work with certain cultures and the lack of tools and necessities that's in it, and how they set certain people up for failure. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's out there, it's the truth, and it's happening right now, 2023, January, as we speak. I speak to teachers, I speak to different people in schools. It's a reality out here, people. So just seeing this with Bethune Cookman and Reed, it's like his message was so deep. And when you hear that passion and you hear where he coming from, and it's just like, yo, when you come from that and you understand that, like, regardless, so like, why they always trying to play us like that? You know what I mean? It's like, stop trying to play us. It's like, why we can't just be fair? At least give me something, you know? I ain't even begging you. I ain't even saying give me all of it. Give me something. You know? And that's a hard pill to swallow, especially when it's your own people who look at you or try to shit on you or try to turn stories around, or who are not on the same page. That's the worst part, when you have your own people part of the problem. And there's a lot of people part of the problem, and that's the biggest problem of all, because it's the people at top that create this culture. And I don't remember who or what I heard this from, and somebody always said that you look at who's at the top of an organization, and that will let you know the culture. People who are at the top, they're only going to want to bring on people who make them feel comfortable, who they feel like, okay, you're a good fit for our company, correct? That fit is not going to match their own culture. Now, whoever they bring on, it goes, and it just becomes a cycle. So that's the culture of the company, essentially. So no matter how good somebody might be able to play it out, where like, oh, they're a team player, or they may not be a part of that, or the office politics, or whatever it is, you got to know that some part of them is a part of that. Because otherwise, even if you are able to, how can I put this? Even if you are able to succeed or maintain your position in that, you're not going to be comfortable in that position. Because I have family, I have friends that, excuse me, in certain positions where it's just like, the higher up culture is fucked up. But for them, they move in a certain way to keep their morality, their standard, and things of that nature. But you have to know that a culture of a company is a certain way, and it's hard to fight that, especially when it's embedded and everybody's like that, and there's nobody wanting change. But these kids at Bethune Cookman, they deserve better. HBCUs deserve. Y'all don't understand. I am telling you, if you ever get a chance, especially if you have kids, take them to a HBCU, especially during the homecoming. Just during the homecoming. Pick your choice. Lincoln University, do Temple. You got fucking A&T. You got go North Carolina anywhere. You got Texas. You know what I'm saying? You got FAMU. Come on, son. You got a lot of them. Just take a look. And even from the smallest one to the biggest ones, I'm telling you, the energy there is just different, especially when it comes to our people. And again, no disrespect, no offense to nobody else. You know what I mean? But it's just something about that vibe that it's unexplainable. To this day, like, I love it. You know what I mean? As a grown person, like, you go back in there and it's just love. And it's the love that you know that we have for each other without all that, the extra, I'm not saying ghetto. I'm talking about more of the, like, violence, more, and without all that anger, without all the I don't want to say ratchetness, because what some people might call it ratchet, because you're still enjoying yourself, but it's just a vibe. Let's just call it like that. It's a vibe. So I hope with Ed Reed, like, my heart goes out to him. My heart goes out to the players at Bethune Cookman. I'm not on the inside. I'm just speaking my piece, but just seeing the students protesting and seeing that these conditions were real, and seeing that, like, that was their response to saying, like, you know what, we're going to team up, because that could have been a great fucking movement. Imagine if they teamed up and like, you know what, Ed was right. You know what I mean? It's been a while, you know, we had a lot of things, and so whatever, you know, BPC about it. But you know that at this moment, we about to change all of that. And Bethune coming, we coming. Imagine that. I mean, it's a long subject and I could go on forever, but I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And again, like I said, I'll talk more about the education system on, like, in a different level without, you know, in another video. I hope you like, I hope you subscribe, look out for more videos. If you have any comments, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, let me know. And yeah, I hope